Aquaba returnees. This is Adrian Essie Cook, and this is returnee Sankofa. And today we have a guest with us. We have Jawara, who is a board member with the Black Star Cooperative Credit Line Union in Accra, Ghana. And today we're going to be talking about why diasporans in Ghana need a credit union. Key benefits explained. So I just want to lay out a few short key benefits, and then Joara will take over and talk about things. One, having the credit union for diasporans would help with financial inclusion, give community support, tailored services, lower fees and rates, and offer investment opportunities, loan accessibility, remittance solution, which is a problem right now when people want to send money, economic empowerment, support for small businesses, cultural connections, financial education, security and trust, and profit sharing. So one of the things I asked somebody in Accra this morning about the money situation, how are diasporans handling things if they don't have access to a bank and they don't have access to a credit union? So I hear that they're being quite creative. One of the things that people have been doing is sending money over through Wave, WAVE, to their Ghana telephone number, and then they go to a mobile bank and access money there. That's just one way. But we want to just talk about the benefits for having the credit union. All right, Jawara, take over.
Yeah, greetings everyone. Well, first let's outline what a credit union is. A credit union is basically a member-owned cooperative organization in which members deposit money to the credit union in the form of savings, and they can get credit from the credit union in terms of loans that lesser than market rates usually. Now, who can form a credit union? Any organization with a common interest, like church congregations, for example, alumni association, trade unions, or just general community organization, are some of the people who would get together and form a credit union. In Ghana specifically, and in Africa in general, credit unions are very popular, especially among people who do not have documented income in order to open bank accounts. These include small farmers, taxi drivers, market vendors, and so on. Now, the benefit of a credit union for diasporans is that, as you mentioned before, a non-Ghana resident cannot open a bank account in Ghana. You either have to be a citizen or a permanent resident to establish a bank account. So the purpose then of starting a credit union among diasporans would be for the purpose of repatriation. For example, a Pan-Africanist group of people can get together and form a credit union, and someone already there in Ghana who is a resident or a citizen could then handle the affair of the credit union, such as establishing accreditation for the credit union in Ghana, and which is very important because if you are trying to do business in Ghana or repatriating to Ghana, you need a depository for your monies, a legal and upfront depository for your money where your money can be safe and where you can have access to your money, where your money can grow and have a return, where and this is one of the things that's been plaguing credit unions or repatriates in general. For example, PayPal does not, and many of these institutions that transfer and send money, they do not provide a system for which you can send large sums of money. You could send money to your family member or to small amounts, but if you want to buy a piece of land, there's no provision for you to move large amounts of money unless you're transferring money from one bank to another bank. And if you don't have a banking account there, then you're not able to do it.
So let me ask you, are credit unions safe?
Credit unions are as safe as the members who operate them. They are regulated. Yes, they are not SUSO partners. They are regulated entities. For example, in order for a credit union to be accredited, it has to be a member of the Credit Union Association of Ghana, COA for short, CUA. The responsibility of this regulating body is to make sure that the credit union meet all regulations for accreditation, which include a minimum amount of membership, a minimum amount of deposits, and that the credit union operate within certain guidelines set by the regulators. The regulator responsibility is to audit the credit union once a year, and the credit union must meet must pass that audit, or else it would lose its accreditation. Once the credit union is accredited, it is then registered by the government Department of Cooperatives, and it is issued a certificate of registration. A credit union must also have a certificate of accreditation, which it must display in its place of business. Yes. So then, is it safe? Well, credit union, the membership of a credit union are the ones who run the credit union.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay, so here in the United States, the banks insure our money up to a certain amount of money, right? In case something happens. Is that the thing with the credit union? And why, I asked that because this morning I got a email about a banker in Nigeria, individual person who was able to take out 40 million naira and then disperse it to many banks for himself. Mm-hmm. I think his wife was involved in that also. So how well is our money protected in credit unions?
The credit union is required to pay a deposit protection insurance. Mm-hmm. It must be covered by insurance so that the largest percentage of members' deposit are insured in the manner that you described, so mm-hmm. that people would not risk losing all their monies.
Right.
The money yes. So there's
if a banking institution or a financial institution is accepting money from people and depositing into accounts, but is not a part of any insurance thing like this, with our monies being insured up to a certain amount, that means that someone comes in and does something, then that financial institution or credit union has to be responsible for paying everybody back their money.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so that is one of the key points, and because the regulating body require the credit union to pay a monthly fee mm-hmm. to the umbrella group as protection for deposits. And then there are certain measures within the credit union, which I say is a member-run organization, right? There is a structure that includes a board of directors, a supervisory committee, a loans committee, and the education committee. And other committees can be added as needed. Right. But the supervisory committee is essential in running a credit union, since it is the committee that internally audits the operation of the credit union, either on a day-to-day basis or on a weekly basis. Yes, the credit union day-to-day affairs and its administration must be run by a qualified manager. The manager can or cannot be a member of the credit union. You don't have to be a member of the credit union, but he or she must meet a minimum qualification requirement, including experience or academic training in related disciplines such as accounting, business management, etc. The manager of the credit union is the only paid position in the credit union. He or she is appointed by the board of directors and must meet the qualification as is determined by the board of directors and the relative organ within the credit union. So a small credit union who is just starting out might not be able to afford the market rate for someone who have 5 or more year experience, you know, in managing credit unions. In such cases, then the board of directors would have to come up with finding someone who is academically qualified, and then someone within the credit union directorship can tutor or guide that rookie manager into running the credit union, which in some cases is preferable, since you want the credit union to go in a direction that is beneficial to the aims and objectives of the board of directors.
So what should I do if I'm new and I want to join a credit union? What should I look for in a credit union?
You should look for a credit union that one is accredited and registered, and they must have the certificate to prove it, right? Each credit union with accreditation is issued a certificate with accreditation number, a registration certificate with a registration number, and you can contact the regulating body to verify that this credit union is authentic.
Right. Well, we definitely need a credit union in Accra. I enjoyed going to the credit union, you know, and being able to withdraw money from there and do the things I needed to do. So it's a little hard right now, especially for people who come over who are not members of credit union, who do not have ability to access banks. In order to be banking, have a bank account in Ghana, you need to have be a resident, I think, or you need to have the Ghana card. So
yes,
we need to, you know, be able to have access to money.
Yes. And again, the bottom line here is trust equity, right? And therefore, any organization that's deal with money, there's always a potential of something going wrong. Yes. And it could be theft, or it could be just mismanagement based on experience or lack of experience. And this is especially the case because credit unions, by definition, are run by its members, right? And to the degree that the members have experience in management or accounting or banking, is to the degree that the credit union is more solvent, more safe, more predictable, and so on, right? And those are some of the things you would look for. So the person who is recruiting you to be a member of that credit union need to prove in some way to your satisfaction that they are capable of doing the business of a credit union in the manner that you would feel safe, right? And to that degree, in my opinion, what I always advise people who are joining the Black Star Line Cooperative Credit Union is to just start with a basic account. Just you know, a basic account would be buying 1 share in the credit union and set up a saving account for $5, etc., and be a part of active member in the credit union. for a period of time and see where it goes before you start to invest larger sums of money,
Well,
right?
I
Because
introduced you as a board member. The board members have to have some of these credentials as well, right? You all are really representing the members.
yeah, well, technically, because the only prerequisite for a board member is that you are a member with at least one share in the credit union. That is the only real qualification according to the guidelines set up by the regulators, right? Now, once the credit union is established and the members, shareholders select or elect a board, then they can fine-tune those requirements and say, well, then we are looking for people who are, business managers. You might have an MBA, or you might have was a middle management employee in a firm for X amount of years. So you could really handpick your board members and put them up for election, because
Okay.
so as the credit union grow in membership and experience, then also it should be growing in terms of ability to manage and expand and function in a very efficient way.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And of which customer service to me is probably the most important part of any business. Yes. And that was one of the things that was plaguing, or has been plaguing the Black Star Line. It's really a lack of customer service, which is more of a requirement from diasporans, because we are used to a different level of service. Not only are we used to a different level of service, but because we are a distance away from a credit union that is thousands of miles away, we need to be more updated about what is going on. Even if not on a daily basis, at least on a monthly basis.
Right.
We need quick response. Some more important than even financial experience is management and service experience, because you want to keep your members engaged and satisfied that they can access their account, they can get information about their account in the same period of time that you can send an email.
I thought, the Black Star Line Cooperative Credit Union was heading in that direction. It had become computerized so that we could go in and check our accounts, and got newsletters. Those are important things, so you can be updated about what's going on, especially if you're in California and your credit union is in Accra.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that with a credit union, again, is that the very nature of a credit union is that the members, the leadership of a credit union are term limited, at least in Ghana, according to the guidelines and regulations. So as one member leaves, someone else comes in. And the person who is coming in might not have the same level of expectation, the same level of urgency, the same level of awareness regarding how a business should operate, right? So in many ways, every time you change administration or update the board of directors, there's a curve, a learning curve, and during which time the credit union can actually regress. And that is what has happened to the Black Star Line Cooperative Credit Union in the past few years. It has regressed to the point where you are replacing advanced membership with less advanced membership.
Now, banks, a lot of people don't know this. They go and put their money in the bank and they only get a very low interest rate. And they want to know what's going on here. I have 20,000 here, but now I just have 20,100 for many years. That's
Hmm.
because the bank is taking your money and investing it in things.
Yeah.
What does the credit union do when we put our money in there?
Well, the credit union, one of the primary functions I said of a credit union is to extend loans to its membership at a low interest rate, and the credit union earn monies from those interests.
Hmm.
But at the same time, a credit union is also expected to give interest to saving loans. So you
Hmm.
put in money in a savings account, you expect to get some interest on it. However, those are the basics of a credit union. Some credit unions have interest of high yield investment accounts as options for members who wish to grow their money. Right. So if you have a large sum of money and you are intending to repatriate or do business in Ghana, you could encourage your credit union, if they don't have that product, to develop an investment account in which that credit union can then invest those monies
Hmm.
into a treasury bill
Right.
and then you could earn up to 5 or more% on your money, right? And that the credit union can, those earnings for the credit union can expand the credit union
Right.
so that you could have more, let's say, better internet service, for example, where you could just go in and pull up your account, you know, because all of those efficiencies require money in order to implement
Right.
them.
And
Yeah.
credit unions, as I was saying from my list here, can also invest in things such as perhaps building and investing in other things for the members also, like housing.
Yeah.
Those are like some of the things that the diasporians need, you know.
Yes, properties and housing developments and
Yes.
those kind of developments. You know, what I mean, not only can our members benefit from them through investment in the credit union, but these are also opportunities for the credit union to develop businesses that diasporans can take part in, and earn money. Because let's face it, if you go to Ghana, for example, you will need an income. Yeah. And you're probably not gonna go and apply for a job to drive a bus or
Yeah, and that's one
something
of
like
the
that.
things diasporians cannot do is
Yeah,
work in Ghana. We can't take the jobs away from the Ghanaians, and they
yeah,
really don't make anything. So we need to start businesses,
yeah, yeah. So some of the things then would be developments, for example, because everyone needs some place to live. So
Hmm.
I mean, someone who have the ability and the means, the credit union, then if it potentially could provide the development resources, if someone else already have the development credentials and
Right.
qualifications, you know. So many people who go to Ghana repatriate, they go and they build the houses from scratch,
Yes.
you know. So again, that service that the credit union provide is invaluable in terms of providing those funds to actually, for you to be able to build a house.
Hmm.
Yeah. And people can put the credit union potential. You can purchase land and resell land to the members at a reasonable cost and
Right.
still making some money from selling off those properties.
Hmm.
Which
Okay.
these are some of the plans in the long-term goals of the credit union, of the Black Star Line of Cooperative Credit Union. But then again, it's important that the leaders of the credit union actually have these visions, and not only have these visions, but are able to develop the potential to put these visions into reality, you know?
Okay. So
And
that's very important what you said, that the leaders have to have that vision. You know,
Yes.
very if they don't have it, it creates a major problem.
You don't have it. And one of the dichotomy between repatriates, us in the diaspora, and our counterparts on the continent is that sometimes they do not have the same sense of urgency
Right.
that we have. They move at a different pace than we do. You are getting ready to retire and move to the continent, and you have certain amount of monies and you want to do certain amount of things. You want to establish yourself, buy a house, build a house, etc. and etc. But again, they might not have that same sense of urgency. And that is why then diasporans already on the continent must involve themselves in ventures such as these so that they themselves can be hands-on in running these credit unions, these development, these real estate endeavors, and so on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you very much. It's very important information that we need.
Yeah.
Maybe the next time we get together, we could talk about how to start a credit union.
Yeah.
But this is very important information. Do you want to say one last thing?
Yeah. Well, basically the framework for credit, is just people with similar interests or similar mindset can start the framework of a credit union.
Mm-hmm.
Long before the credit union is accredited and licensed and so on and so forth, it has to be an operation when you get to the point where you can register and get it accredited, that means the credit union have been running for X amount of time before you even got to that stage, which means you already have a core of interested persons or personalities who can actually run the credit union. So to me, people must understand it is building wealth is part of repatriation.
Right.
We don't repatriate to go somewhere else to be a burden on the government that we are repatriating to, which has been the case in many occasions from people who repatriated in the 60s and the 70s and even the 80s. They reach an age now where they cannot provide for themselves. But there were no systems set up for them to get food, clothes, and shelter during their unproductive years, so to speak. So they actually become a burden. So we can plan ahead. We can learn from the missteps of those who preceded us in terms of Pan-Africanism and repatriation and so on and so forth.
Well, thank you, Joara. We've come to an end and we'll meet again. And maybe, like I said, we'll talk about how to open up a credit union.
Okay, so long.
Madasi, thank you very much.
Peace and blessings. Give thanks.